You rock up, you'll meet people that you may not have seen for a couple of months or whatever. And by the time you've had a catch up with everybody and had a beer with everybody there, or definitely in my case, had a beer with everybody there,
Yep.
you're pretty hammered. And because I've always got this rule that even when I was faction leader, and even right now that I'm not faction leader, if I'm at a paintball event, I'll go to every single camp and say hello to everybody, which normally involves having a couple of beers with everybody or a couple of rums or whiskies or whatever.
Hmm.
So by the end of the first night, I've drank my body weight in alcohol, and
Yeah.
that's a lot of body weight.
Yeah. We are ready to go. You ready?
Go for it.
Right. So, bit of a difference this time for the Behind the Mask. Uh, we don't have you in person because meeting up from opposite ends of the country was just a nightmare, wasn't it, trying to get that sorted?
Yeah, no.
So, Andy Farley, ladies and gentlemen, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself for those three people that don't know you?
I was going to say there can't be surely that many people who don't know who I am. But anyway, I'm Andy Farley. I'm the general and founder of Kronos Paintball, the founder of Kronos Paintball Juniors, the founder of Kronos Paintball CIC, and currently, yeah, doing a lot of mag feds with this gentleman on the stream.
Indeed. So, why don't we start at the beginning and tell us about how you got into paintball, the start of your journey type thing.
In all honesty, it was fairly same as everybody else's. My mate had done it on his stag do. He phoned me up the one day and said, "Look, we're doing it with these types of guns. Do you want to come across and have a little look?" There's a site literally just around the corner from where I work, so why not pop down? I was using a BT Delta, I think it was.
Ooh, top of the
So you know,
line.
oh yes, but it had all the mods on it, so it was modded up to M16. And in fairness, from that moment on, I just absolutely fell in love with it. It was about a 10-minute drive home from it. And by the time I got home, I'd already bought two guns, tac vest, mask, and I had bought a BC Delta,
Hmm.
and this is showing my age now, a Tiberius T9.
Wow.
It was beautiful, but never worked.
Yeah. So when was this? Give us a rough
uh,
time.
that was back in the beginning of 2016. So I've
Okay.
been 9 years in paintball now.
Yeah.
So after that, we formed a group or a team called War Dogs.
Hmm.
I spent a couple of years in that. Unfortunately, that turned very nasty with the guy who took over as captain.
Okay.
So I've had enough, and I basically had two choices: either quit paintball, which I didn't want to do because I absolutely loved it,
Hmm.
or go out on my own. I'd left quite amicably and said to him that I'm not taking any of your guys.
Yeah.
However, if they want to join me, I'm not going to say no, but I was going to go off on solo. Um, Unfortunately for him, eight of the players for War Dogs couldn't stand him, so decided to come and join me. And Kronos was born, and that was back in 2020.
So it sounds a bit like you set up a bit of a coup, really.
Yes, pretty much. Well, I mean, I wouldn't have minded doing off and doing a bit of solo for a while, because there's this when you're in the middle of a team and it's rising at the ranks really quickly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure to do certain events. Whereas I was still in the mindset that I just wanted to go and do what I wanted to do, have a bit of fun, and not really give too much of a toss.
Yeah.
Obviously, things have changed.
Yeah. So what games were you playing back then? Was it just walk-ons, or were you doing big events? Where was it that your
Um,
interests lied?
we
Lay.
did walk-ons predominantly when we were War Dogs. Then I think we did our first OMG in 2019, which was in Anzio.
Okay.
And I absolutely fell in love with that style.
Yeah.
So straight away it was a case of like T15s, tip X's, proper jumping up on a decent markers.
Hmm.
Um, and then as soon as Kronos was born, should we say, our first one was at PPK, which was just absolutely incredible. And then straight into OMG again. And I think I don't even know how many OMG events I've done since then. Um, yeah, I wouldn't even want to count.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been at Driffield that many times, I know it better than my own house.
Yeah, I know the feeling. We'll get onto OMG in a minute, and I want to touch more on Kronos. But while we're just
Mhm.
basically focusing on you, what's your equipment? What are you currently running with? Because I know for a fact that you're a bit of a collector of masks.
Yes, yeah. I've currently got, I think, 14 or 15 V-Force grills. I've got a couple of Di-4s, but the grills they're my babies. I love them. Every chance that a new one comes out or a new limited edition one comes out, I've got to have it. Otherwise, it feels like I'm being stabbed in the eyes. Um,
Do
and
you
anytime
wear
I
them
see
all, or
somebody,
do you just display them?
well, I used to. So I'd make a point of like every game I'd go out wearing a different mask, or if you're at OMG in the morning I'd be wearing a black mask. In the afternoon I'd be wearing black with white skulls. Then the next day it'd be the Dragon Fury, because I'm a chav.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but generally now, the majority of them all get used by the juniors.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're turning up at Task Force for the junior games, they've got the rentals, but we all know rentals aren't the quality of V-Force.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say they're bad, but they're not the same quality. So I give out all the masks to all the kids who don't already have them, and they get to enjoy their gameplay a little bit better, a bit longer without any fogging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've gone a little bit nuts with the masks. Marker
Just a tad,
wise,
just a little bit.
just a tad. I bought another two, which I'm getting at the end of the month. Um, it's going to be literally over 20 masks, and I've got one head.
Mm-hmm. But it is a magnificent head.
Uh, yes, it is beautifully bald. Um, so marker wise, I was going for T15s constantly, and there is a story behind why I changed things up. But currently, I've got every gun I've got, or every marker I've got, sorry, is a Tickman.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got 50 cals for the juniors, the TMC 50 cals. I got TMCs for what we call adult games. I've got my Stormer, which in fairness is quite possibly the most beautiful Stormer in Britain because we've just had fun with it.
Yeah.
Um, then my TCR and my Tipex, which is my go-to.
Yeah.
I tend to use it constantly.
Most of the time it's your primary, isn't it, when we've seen you out at OMG games?
Oh yeah, I don't bother. I like to get it close and personal, and the Tipex, especially when you go through buildings,
Mm-hmm.
it's just the ideal marker. I know some people say it's a bit big for a pistol, but that's just because they got little lady hands. For me, it's spot on. I absolutely adore the thing.
Yeah. So going on to the OMG games. Start with OMG. You obviously started
Yeah,
playing the games, and then you became the first and only faction leader for the GDE, the Green Dragons.
yeah. Green Dragon Enterprises. Yeah,
Yeah. So how did that
yeah.
come
That
about?
was all a bit bizarre because throughout the first year of properly doing OMG events, I was on blue. So I've only ever been blue and green, except for when we went to France and
Yeah.
we did red. But I was exceptionally close with, and still am, with Paul Edwards, who at the time was the faction leader for Blackthorn.
Mm-hmm.
And he was kind of coaching me and helping me along, giving me pointers on, a bit of my gameplay and all the rest of it. And I think at one point it was looking like I was going to be his 2IC on Blackthorn. But then GDE came about, and I thought, well, to be quite honest, originally I didn't realize it was another faction. I just thought it was like another Cerberus. So I was
Yeah.
thinking, ooh, a group of us having fun, great. It was only when Strutty phoned me and ran me through everything I realized, oh shit, I've taken on the full faction. Um, it was quite wonderful because we tended to we took on a lot of the newer players to OMG because you know yourself. Most players, when they get into OMG, they go red or they go blue, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's ingrained in them.
Yeah.
But we took on a lot of the newer players who'd never ever done an OMG before, and we got them integrated, and then teams were built on the back of it, which was spectacular. We did take a couple of blues and we took a couple of reds. I think it was on the first event. A couple of people who were actually in my team now, they were originally on red. They came across to help out green because we were outnumbered and getting our asses handed to us. And even though we lost, they loved the way that I ran the faction that much. They stayed on green, and they'd actually, well, Aid being one of them is now the captain for Kronos South. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty good. We got all the misfits basically and gave them a home.
But that's kind of your philosophy on paintball, isn't it? It's just go out and have fun. That's all
Yeah,
you're interested in.
yeah. I don't really give too much of a toss about politics. Unfortunately, I get drawn into certain parts of it. But generally, like with my team, I don't care how many games you turn up to. Do as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
It's always family first. But as long as at the end of the year you can say, you know what, I had an absolute blast. I really couldn't give a toss other than that. I don't care if we win, lose, as long as we've all had fun and shot some reds.
Yeah. Well, then, when Green Dragon Enterprises closed down, you moved over as 2IC to red. Sorry, to
Yep,
red?
group blue.
To blue, yeah, to Blackthorn.
Yeah,
And you led a couple of the games at that
yeah,
for about a year, wasn't it?
yeah. Well, it landed a bit bizarre because Paul was still the faction leader for Blackthorn at the time, and he had said all that year that he was going to be standing down at the end of the year because he had so many things that he wanted to do, so he couldn't really commit to it.
Yeah.
But then as that year went on, dates conflicted with stuff when one of the dates landed on the day of his wedding. Got to choose marry your missus, do a paintball event. I think he
Paintball
chose
every
wrong.
time.
Yeah, I think he chose wrong, but I'm not going to say I had to die because I'm terrified of it.
Get married during the paintball game.
See, I
Perfect.
said that. Finish off with a 21 gun salute.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. So it ended up working out that I faction led half of the year, and he faction led the other half. So we kind of it was him one event, then me the next, and him, then me.
Yeah.
And it was quite good because that's when we got you guys over onto blue.
Yeah, I think we joined a bit earlier than that because we were going to join Green Dragons. We'd done 2 games red, we were going to do 2 games blue, and then we were going to do 2 games green and see where we were.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, green closed down before we got a chance to do that, so we just followed you and went on to red. Wow.
You got to stop doing that.
I know. We just went on to blue. It's because I'm thinking about France. We'll talk about that later, but we're thinking about France at the minute.
Yes.
So
Fair play.
we came over and joined you, and basically haven't looked back since then.
No.
It's been amazing. But
yeah,
you stopped down.
You joined me. Yeah, well, you joined me over on blue, and then now you're the head honcho on the blue faction. So
Yeah, because you stepped down.
Yes. In fairness, I'd done 3 years of faction leading in total.
Yeah.
And I got the experiences that I wanted. I met countless really good people. And I got my name out there in a positive light. I got my team name out there in a positive light, which has then allowed me to do other things I want to do within the paintball world. So the 3 years I think was enough for me. I was happy to step away and give someone else the experience.
Yeah. And it has done really well for Kronos because you've gone from about 10 to 20 players up to about 40 now.
Well, originally we started off with 9. So
yeah.
we had our first 9, big Sons of Anarchy fans. So obviously start off with 9, it has to be done. I think now we've got on the adult sort of main Kronos, we've got about 40 to 50 players.
Mm-hmm.
And that's across the south and the north. Then on the juniors, we've got like 25 to 30. So across the country, one way or another, there's near enough 70 odd of us.
Yeah. But that split between the north and south had to be done because it was getting a bit uncontrollable, wasn't it? So you've had
Yeah, it
two
was.
new captains,
Yeah,
and you've took
it
a
was.
general
It was getting
position.
too big. Yes, it was getting a bit too big. And like Peter Hodgson, who unfortunately due to ill health, hasn't been able to play much over the last year or so. But behind the scenes, he was doing a lot to build up a North presence for us. So when he came to me and said, "Look, I've got this amount of players. They all want to join. Um, what do you think about finally doing the split?" And it kind of made sense because it was getting way, way, way too much for me to be able to manage. Whereas now I've got Aid Willoughby as the captain of the South, and he's fantastic. He's everybody respects him. They look up to him. He's a proper father figure.
Hmm. And he's
And then
been
I've
in
got
the game
Hodgson.
since, God,
Oh,
when I started, so 12, 15 years ago, probably more.
easily, easily. I was amazed when I found out he wasn't part of a team
Hmm.
before he came over to Kronos. And then I was amazed when he came over to Kronos because I thought, well, if you've not been in a team for so long, why now? But he gets on with everybody. He's like I said, he's massively respected. He tends to bring out the good in people on the field and off the field.
Hmm.
He's always the relatively sensible one
Yeah.
in a team of psychos and lunatics. So it's really worked out well. And like I said, with Peter, yeah, okay, he's going through stuff at the moment, but as soon as he's back to full strength, he'll be out on the field like the lunatic ginger Viking that he is.
Yep.
And he'll be unstoppable again. We'll be seeing him, once he is back to normal, we'll be seeing him at enough every event and hopefully France.
Oh, hell yes. That would be amazing to get him back on the feet. We all wish him well.
Ooh.
So really hope he's going to make a full recovery.
Yeah, it's been rough for him, really, really rough. And we check in with him, and in fairness to Peter, he's twisted. He's completely and utterly twisted. So if I was to phone him up and give him a load of sympathy, it would really, really upset him.
Yeah.
But if I phone him up and give him a shitload of abuse, and like we all take the piss out of him on the group, it actually does cheer him up and make his day. He's one on his own.
Yeah.
We take the piss out of him, calling him the dribbler, and every time he's trying saying something, and it's 10 minutes of stuttering. It's easy for you to say, just silly little quips like that, but he loves it.
Yeah. So since we've talked about juniors quite a bit at the minute, let's go on to juniors. How did that come about? What was your thoughts and goals with Phoenix Cronus Juniors?
Um, See, it was kind of a bit weird. Like me and Sean Rutherford had conversations years ago about it, because it was something that he really wanted to do, but unfortunately the doors kept on getting closed for him. Um, so it's something that I was interested in, but obviously Dylan was too young at that point, so there was no point trying to set it up when my own son is too young to actually play on it.
Yeah.
We came to summer a couple of years ago because I think juniors has been running. This will be its third year now.
Hmm.
Um, and it came to the summer, and we had Dylan was obviously off for the summer holidays. We had his mate Jaden staying over ours. So it was like, right, the two of them together are psychotic. So let's find a way to get in some activities so that I don't smash my own head into a brick wall.
Yeah.
So I took him paintballing and took him on to just added on to a rental day, and they were incredible. Absolutely straight off out of the gate. There was no slowing down on them. They absolutely loved it. They took to it like ducks in water.
Excellent.
So we spoke a bit more to Dylan about it, and his birthday's in October. We said, do you fancy a birthday party, a paintball birthday party? Yeah, he was chuffed to beans with it. We had, I think, 10 of his friends come, and then a couple of the parents, because without sounding egotistic, you can have paintball birthday parties, which are good.
Hmm.
But you can have a paintball birthday party arranged by a paintballer,
Yeah.
and they're better.
Yeah.
You know, so like we went all out, and a lot of the parents were like, it's all right if we have a go as well, and So, no, we had no issue with that. The parents joining in, it was
Hmm.
fantastic. And me and Kelly kind of got home and we were absolutely buzzing by it. The day had been fantastic. Smiling faces and war stories all across.
Yeah.
So we started talking. We were like, my wife, it was mainly Kelly's brainchild. She said, you've got the buzz at knife, because we took our masks, we took our guns, we did show and tell, we did target ranges with our guns, we had sniper rifles, we had everything.
Yeah.
And she said, if there was ever a time we were going to do it, now's the time when people are excited about it. And within a couple, like we arranged another game, then a couple of weeks later, about 2 months later, um, did some videos, promo videos for it, and we had like it was that well received by Dylan's friends and people around us. We actually had the junior school showing our videos in assembly, which
Excellent.
you know it was a bit bizarre. Like in they all they were allowing us to put posters up in the school to advertise it.
Yeah.
Um, so we were kind of lucky because it kind of landed like bomb 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 for us.
Hmm.
Um, and the fact that we've got task force that we use, and Daz and James, they're brilliant. They can't do enough for us when we do a junior day, and they understand that. Yeah, they're not going to make a fortune out of it, but the advertising they get, the birthday parties and they get, the money on the day that they're getting, it all adds up to real tangible things for them. So
And it's bringing in the next
um,
generation who are hopefully will be using their site for years and years to come.
yes, this is it. So whereas a lot of sites I have noticed, quite disappointingly so, have been very closed off to the idea of junior teams.
Hmm.
James and Daz had the foresight to go, well, there's no real lose in it for them. As long as we all act safely and do what we're supposed to do, and I've got enough people on the field, experienced paintballers to make sure, as well as their own marshals, there is really no downside to them for them whatsoever.
Yeah.
And like I said, we don't have to check with them to see when the dates are available. We just tell them these are the dates we can do it, and then they make it happen for us, which is fantastic.
So if anybody is watching this in Wales and they wish to join the Phoenix Juniors, man, what is wrong with me tonight? The Kronos Juniors, how would they go about getting in touch and bringing the kids along?
Literally, you can find me on Facebook, me personally, and Andy Farley. You can find my wife on Facebook, Kelly Farley. We've got the Kronos Paintball Juniors Facebook page. We've got the Kronos Paintball Facebook page,
And that's
and we've got
Kronos,
the
which is
Kronos CIC
KRONOS.
NOS.
Yeah.
Yes. You can get hold of us on any of them, and yeah, we'll give you all the information, the dates, the prices, everything, so you know exactly what you're expecting when you turn up. We've got the next one now on the 8th of March. So if there is anybody out there that wants to join, it is a case of the more the merrier.
Excellent. So good luck with that, but I'm sure you don't need
Ooh,
it because I've seen this thing grow up and it's been absolutely amazing to watch. So
it is.
massive congratulations on that, and let's hope it keeps going.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
it's got my wife at the helm now, so she's instead of her shouting at me constantly to do stuff, she's running with it, so it's running better than when it did when I was in control.
that doesn't surprise me. For the man that can lock himself in his own car.
Yeah, 3 times in 1 year.
Hmm. You do have the bit of a reputation for being a, say it nicely, but there's no way to say it nicely, a bumbling idiot.
Yes. See, the problem is that, like, with my job, I'm quite serious,
Hmm.
and with my life away from paintball, it's quite serious to an extent. I'm still a bumbling idiot, but just a watered down version. So when it comes to a paintball weekend, it's kind of like, yeah, gloves are off. I'm that's it. I'm not site manager. I'm not husband. I'm not father. I am just Andy, and I go off and do my silly things, largely involving alcohol. Um, a lot of time involving alcohol. But now my wife and my son are actually coming to paintball events with us. I did laugh when people said, "So you're going to be on your best behaviour because Kelly's there." Like, no, I'm worse because now I know I've got her to look after me.
Yep. But I think that's it. Paintball for a lot of people is an escape from their day-to-day life, and it's a time just to let themselves go and just be who they are.
Yeah, you rock up, you'll meet people that you may not have seen for a couple of months or whatever. And by the time you had a catch up with everybody and had a beer with everybody there, or definitely in my case, had a beer with everybody there,
Yep.
you're pretty hammered. And because I've always got this rule that even when I was faction leader, and even right now that I'm not faction leader, if I'm at a paintball event, I'll go to every single camp and say hello to everybody, which normally involves having a couple of beers with everybody or a couple of rums or whiskies or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So by the end of the first night, I drank my body weight in alcohol, and
Yeah.
that's a lot of body weight.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll remember when I met you. I hope you do because I bloody don't.
Oh, I remember. I remember all too well. How you
Yes,
didn't set yourself on fire, I will never know.
I, do you know what? I have no idea.
Nope.
I still have no idea when I was carrying all the beers because I wasn't carrying a rucksack.
No, you were
Um,
drinking our beers, mate.
See, this is where I'm clever.
Uh-huh. Ooh, is that
It
vodka?
has
I'll have some of that. But
the
literally,
thing is,
you came over. Hi, I'm Andy. Shook everyone's hands. You sat down, had a talk. Said, right, I'll have to go. Got up, turned around, walked off into a field in the middle of nowhere, fell over, walked back into the campsite. Hi, I'm Andy. Shook everyone's hand and sat down and had a talk again. You had no idea. You just spent the last hour and a half with us.
nope. See, I get away with it. I don't know why, but some of the things I do and some of the things I say, most people would get a punch in the face.
Hmm.
Um, I have no idea why I get away with it, but I seem to. It's absolutely bewildering. Um, but I think it's because, well, quite possibly because people will see, I don't have a bad bone in my body, and when I'm at a paintball event, number one, I never cheat, and number two, I'm all about the fun. I just have a laugh.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. But that started a friendship between not just you and myself, but between our two teams, Phoenix
Yes.
and Kronos. And our two teams kind of became sister teams at first, which you hate. You call them brother teams.
Yeah, I really. When you got two men at the helm, sister teams just makes no sense to me.
But then we made it kind of more official last year because we had an epic road trip to France, which we are then
Yes,
doing again this year. And we
yes,
are officially, unofficially called Team Chronics.
I love it. In
Yep.
fairness, I've got my t-shirt. Every time I got the t-shirt, I look at the t-shirt ready for it. There's a little smile on my face.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, the France trip. I don't know. I don't really know what to say about it because I don't know if the site is the best site I've ever been on. I honestly don't. It's a bloody good site. It is a fantastic site. It's steeped in history, which is just wonderful.
Hmm.
Um,
For
but I
those that
don't
don't
think
know, it's
it's
a fort in
yes,
France.
sport paint. But I think it's the whole thing.
The
The
road
road
trip.
trip,
Yeah.
the camaraderie. I think everything put together is why it's so special.
Yeah.
I think if there was a site in the UK that was exactly like that, I don't think it'd be as good. I don't think we'd be still buzzing about it a year later and planning
Yeah.
our next excursion.
Because
Um,
it was the whole experience of the road trip and the party bus and
yeah,
everyone just having a good time, even though we hadn't slept in 2 days.
oh, we were fucked.
Yeah. Just driving through the
Um,
night. I mean, poor Russell. He did the whole drive
yeah,
whilst we all
and
partied in
didn't
the back,
complain
absolutely
once.
hammered.
Yeah, no, God, I don't envy him. I don't envy the fact that he's going to do it again.
Yeah.
Um, but then he makes up for it when we're there, and this is why we go on a Thursday
Yeah.
instead of going up on a Friday, is that you've got all day then of partying, having a laugh, messing around. Before then, the game on the Saturday, the game on the Sunday, and then home like.
Yeah.
But I think everything, I think there were Germans going around with the gel blasters.
Yeah.
Um, that was just hysterically funny.
Hmm.
The other team, I can't remember the name, but who had the big, massive coach.
Yeah. The big
Um,
party bus.
yeah, yeah, it was kind of a coach of nightmares. I'm not sure if you went up into it, but I did, and I felt like something from the Crying Game afterwards.
I'm glad I didn't take a
Um,
black light in there.
oh yeah, no, you would not want to. I was worried I was going to catch a contact STD or something.
Yep.
Um, but everything, everybody there was just phenomenal. Meeting people from all over Europe,
Yeah.
and just having a laugh with them. I was given patches that, well, the one patch I've got, there's only six of them in existence,
Yeah.
and I've got one, and a lot of people, including you, are very jealous over that.
Uh-huh. But it was mental because even playing against the Europeans is very, very different to playing against English people. They've got a
Yes,
totally
we have
different
rules.
style. Yeah. I wouldn't
Yeah,
say they cheat, but they go hard.
I just think that they don't really. All they want to do is shoot people.
Yeah.
They don't care if you're on the team or whatever. I mean, one of my favorite moments of it was we were on red and we were in the firefight with one of the blues, and Leanne was actually in there at the time because I know this because I shot her. But as we're firing up, suddenly there's shots coming from behind us. We turn around and we all see his red armbands, and Fleming's shouting, "We're on your side! We're on your side!" And all you hear is, "Are you red?" It's like, "Yes." "Are you red?" "Yes." "Are you red?" "Okay, yes." And he put his hand there and went, "Red armband." And I got shot in the armband. I was just like,
Yeah, well, just making sure, I guess.
yeah. I mean, they look the part. A lot of them look the part, and they're spending a fortune on their kit.
Yeah.
Um, can't use it for shit. Um, but they at least put the effort in. And the one thing that really surprised me is how lax the rules are in over there.
Yeah. They've got mesh face coverings, haven't they? And just a pair of
Yeah, it's
goggles.
like one guy was just wearing a snood. Well, you get shot in the knife, mate. That you're losing teeth.
Yeah.
Um, and it was when they stopped and had a cigarette
Yeah.
in the safe in the spawn area. I was like, "You like your eyes in spawn?" I was like, "You still get shot in spawn, mate."
Yeah.
Uh, But I mean, the site itself, it is pretty special. The tunnels and all that. That was a lot of fun
Yeah.
slinking through there. I'm looking forward to doing it again. Um, I'm looking forward to just going out, and there's more of us coming this time, which is good.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm just looking forward to getting out there. Good couple of days. Hopefully, do the full Sunday this time, and then have the grueling, 16-hour journey home.
Yeah. That's going to be a nightmare. But
Yeah, I'm
it'll be
slightly
worth it.
worried. Oh yeah, but I mean, this time I'm actually driving down to Kent
Hmm.
to Russ's, and I'm going to be driving home on my own, where I'm going to be horrendously tired. So I think there's going to be music blasting, and
Yeah.
I might break my rule and have energy drinks because I can't stand them, but I think I might need them
Yeah.
because
Probably will.
it's going to be harsh. It's
Hmm.
going to be harsh. We'll have been awake for a good 26, 27 hours before we get to sleep after the Sunday's game.
Yeah. But it's going to be worth it. Okay. And due to technical errors, we had to momentarily pause the video, but we are back. So I've done a lot of yakking, asking you questions. Is there anything you want to talk about?
I don't really know. Obviously, paintball as a whole. Me and you are working quite closely to do several different things. We're working on the UK PSF,
Yep.
working on the Magnet Ambassadors. For me, I want to try and build or grow paintball, and it may be a bit of hubris, but it's done like over my time doing it. It's done so much for my mental health.
Yeah.
It's staggering. And so for me, I want to try and give something back. So again, it might be a bit of hubris, but when I finally do hang up my markers and go, right, I can't do this anymore, I'd like to think that I've made it that little bit better than when I first started.
Yeah.
Um, which a lot of it is, why we're so focused on the juniors and the CIC. We're sponsoring kids now as well and mentoring them,
Hmm.
which is quite wonderful. We've got this young girl on our team, Tabitha, and her father Gary is actually one of the adult Kronos members as well. But she's awfully nervous,
Hmm.
and she's been a bit skittish at times and not sure if she wanted to do it. So on the last game, which was actually her sister's birthday party, so the game before that it was, I took her out with me and thought, well, I'll do a little bit of mentoring with her and help her out.
Yeah.
So we had 8 people on the other side, and through a little bit of coaching with me, she surrendered 6 out of the 8 people.
Nice.
This little girl went from this timid little girl to this absolute warrior princess within seconds, and she was buzzing.
Yeah.
So if we can focus on doing stuff like that, and obviously if other teams in and around the UK can start trying to build up juniors, well
Yeah.
then yeah, we're going to make it better because it's the next generation coming in, it's fresh blood coming in,
Yeah.
and we get to keep this dream alive for everybody else.
That's it. It's so
'Cause,
important to keep it going because looking at it right now, we've lost a lot of big games that used to be around
mhm,
back in the day. The Woodland Masters has
yeah,
just shut down. It's like we need to keep something going and build it up again. And
that's it.
it's
And, we need to support local sites. We need to support the sites that are struggling.
yeah,
Um, there's so many sites out there which the owners and the people who run it put their absolute lifeblood into it, and they're closing down. They're
yeah,
fading from existence, and it shouldn't be happening.
no, not at all.
And a lot of sites at the moment, because of the financial side of things, moving over to being airsoft only.
Hmm.
Um, well, that's a mistake because that is the death of paintball. If every site in the UK goes right, we can only really afford to sustain it if we're getting this amount of people.
Yeah,
And airsoft is allowing that, or is achieving that. Then paintball is slowly and surely going to disappear.
yeah.
Which I mean, I don't want to have to go over to airsoft.
I don't myself,
No,
but
no,
at the end of the day, I don't think it'll come to that. I think we've got
no.
a few
Oh God, no.
projects on the go at the moment and a few ideas for how to grow the sport, and basically just keeping positive, keeping the buzz going, keeping games like OMG's, all of OMG's games going, and supported the big games that are still around, get as many people to them as possible.
Yeah.
But more importantly, supporting grassroots, as you were saying. Keep going to your
Yes.
local walk-ons, keep supporting it. Just
If
encourage
you've
your
got kids,
friends.
take your kids to a walk on, take your kids to a rental game.
Yeah,
OMG, with OMG events, I believe I'm right with this. Their insurance allows kids from 10 years old
yeah,
to play. Now, with that, every player on there can identify the youngins, and so far, I can say from personal experience, they've not taken the piss and they've not overshot or anything like that. They've been
nope,
respectful of the fact that it's a youngin.
yeah,
You know, so there's no need to be worried about it. A load of my guys are bringing their kids along now,
hmm,
and that's what you need to do because and for me as well, without sounding a bit soppy and sentimental, but running beside my son, it gives me so much joy. It's really really special. Like, I've seen him at games where he stepped in and he's helped with marshalling. He's helped the other kids by clearing their markers for them, and it's just several proud dad moments all
yeah.
wrapped up in one day. And there's nothing more special than that. And the bonds anyway.
Well,
He wants to shoot me now, and he wants to be better than I am.
this is
Good
it.
luck.
It's you could sit and watch them play Fortnite all day long on the TV or
Yeah.
on their phone or whatever they're playing it on, but you can't really get involved. They go to
No,
play football with their mates at the park. You get some weird looks if you went and joined in. Paintball, on the
you
other
do.
hand, taking them along to paintball with you, it's a bonding experience and it's something you can do together. And it's something they're into because now they're playing Call of Duty for real, out in the forest
Yeah.
or in buildings.
And they play like it.
Yeah. They've got the
They,
skills.
some of them are absolutely fearless. And the other side of it, which people don't look at, right? Now, if your kid's been great and you've had a great time with them, yeah, have them run beside you, right?
Hmm.
Get that bond, get that battle experience together. However, if they've pissed you off, put them on the other side and get your revenge.
Yep. Very therapeutic.
Yes, this is why Dylan quite often, largely because he wants to shoot me,
Yeah.
but quite often he's on the other side because I've annoyed him by saying no to certain things. He's annoyed me by being Dylan. And so it's a case of, right, I finally get a chance here to inflict some pain on him.
Hmm.
Because you can't hit your kids. So shoot them instead.
I think we should say that we don't endorse violence against children,
No. But
unless it's on a
shooting
paintball
them on a
field.
paintball field is fine. Yeah.
It's all
Shoot them
good
on a
fun.
paintball field. Yeah. Obviously, don't overshoot them, but yeah, so the different attributes and all the rest of it that having the juniors running has, it's quite staggering, and
Yeah.
helping kids who are dealing with social anxieties, who are nervous around other kids, and and all this.
Hmm.
But when they all put a mask on, those anxieties all go away
Yeah.
because you all look the same.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, a lot of them, one of my mentees, Izzy, her own mum turned around and said, for years we tried to find something that she could get excited about and get involved in.
Yeah.
And now she is with paintball, and every time there's a paintball event coming close, she's on cloud nine, and she's turning into an insanely good paintballer. I'm
Hmm.
not saying it's because she had a fantastic mentor, but
Toot toot.
yes. So the other thing, I'm quite intrigued to see what you think. Um, this new OMG 2.0 setup they've got, I'm very
Yeah.
excited about it.
Yeah. The little skirmish type boxes and
Yeah,
RFID bracelets. I think
I'm
it's going to be a game
intrigued, but I'm
changer.
very excited. I do. I think
Yeah.
it's going to make it's going to help games to flow a lot more. It's going to help them to control the games a little bit more, so that there's going to be less stalemates.
Yeah.
And looking at it, and you'll know yourself, looking at it for like Driffield, for example, 9 times out of 10 at Driffield, you'll find one faction, I'm not saying who, will go to Building 5 and they'll camp in Building 5, and that's what they'll do, and they'll defend it, and they'll defend it, and they'll defend it until the cows come home.
Yeah.
Whereas this, I believe, is going to help for rolling battles. So similar to what we did a couple of years ago at Driffield, where, yeah, you take Building 5, do your objective. There's no point staying there because your next objective is the other side of the bloody site.
Yeah.
So I think this skirmish thingy, my Bobby, is going to be a pretty big game changer. I'm looking forward to seeing that if they use it in France. I think that would be
Yeah.
fantastic in
That would
France.
be. I think one of the things with France is as well, because it's over multiple levels, you
Mhm.
know whereabouts this thing is, but you don't actually know what level it's on
No,
because the
you could be
map's
searching
flat
the
2D.
tunnels and it's up on the bloody roof.
Yeah. So you have to get up onto the roof. But no,
It's going to be interesting.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be good. I do like the more traditional go here, pick this up and carry it to somewhere type missions,
Yeah,
but they can be played in amongst it all.
yeah.
And the
So
fact it
they can
live
still
updates
do
to a
the.
screen.
Well, see, that's going to be a game changer. You still do like the down pilot. You still do all of the things that OMG already do,
Yeah,
but just with a bit of added technological feel to it.
yeah.
Bloody big word for a Sunday evening. Um, I'm quite excited about it. I'm intrigued and quite excited. And I think from what I've seen on Facebook, it's been well received by everybody,
Yeah.
which is good. It does show that they are trying.
That's one
Don't
of
get
the
me
things
wrong.
about OMG. They're always trying to innovate. They're always trying to push the
Yeah,
boundaries of what can and can't be done. And I think that's a
yeah. I
really,
mean,
really good thing for a company.
it is, and they are trying. And in fairness, they don't make money off it whatsoever. And in my opinion, last year wasn't the best year for OMG. But they've come back fighting.
Hmm.
and they're pushing. They're getting some amazing sites. Driffield, Anzio, Sweden, France, and then we'll see what happens towards the end of the year.
Yeah,
Um, but they haven't just sat there licking their wounds. And no company's going to bat 100 every time. It'd be
yeah,
ludicrous to believe they could.
yeah.
But they seem to have come out fighting, definitely fighting for this year. So,
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, I think
and
last year they tried new sites. Some of them didn't work as well as we'd have hoped, but I'd rather go to a site and it not work than them not try at all.
yeah, oh yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, they could have sat in their hands and gone, "Bugger it, we'll just cancel the weekend."
Hmm.
Stuff's gone wrong, and leave it at that. They didn't.
Yeah.
So there is that. They have tried. I think it was an unfortunate year where certain things landed badly for them.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, on 2 years on the trot, they've done the first game they tried on a new site. Done for a lot of people. They loved it.
Yeah.
I didn't, but that's my own personal preference, and probably that I've been quite spoiled over the years with Senny, Driffield, Anzio,
Yeah.
sites like that. So when you get a site that doesn't quite work for you, it's but that's my own personal preference.
Yeah. But
I
even then,
didn't
the
do
experience of fighting on that site, the experience itself, I've got good memories of because
yeah.
it's somewhere I've
I
never
mean,
been before, and it was like, holy crap.
I hated the tunnels, literally just because I had a chest infection and going down was fine. Coming back up, I was dying
Yeah.
by the time I got back up. So that's again, OMG can't do anything about
Hmm.
that. I did like it at the back when me and you were running side by side and you got shot by your own missus.
Yeah. Yeah. That happens more often than you'd think, to be fair. Sarah sees me on the field and that's
It
it.
wouldn't
Red
surprise
mist
me.
descends and it's like, ah. So I always know if I see Sarah on the opposition, I'm in for a firefight.
Yeah, you're having your ass kicked.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it did have some good parts to it. I mean, Yatesbury had some good parts to it. I know that this year, if it does go ahead again, I know this year they're working on the camping to make that a bit more palatable.
Hmm.
Um,
I think they're
but
stripping
for
back a
me,
full field that's beside the site for that. And I've heard
yeah.
rumour that they're
So
going to edit the site itself to make it more friendly for players. So I think there's a lot of work being put into that site to make it more paintball friendly.
that'd be good. I mean, for me, Driffield, you got the paintball awards, Magfed awards, sorry, um, happening at Driffield, which is going to be good
Yeah, yeah, with
because
some
my
live
baby boy
music.
is nominated for two.
Yeah,
Yes, from our old Aiden Fenwick.
yeah,
Yes, yes, I did see his face on the poster. I was like, oh my god, really?
yeah.
Can't escape him.
Nope. You wouldn't want
Um,
to.
yeah, I think Dylan's. Oh no, I do love Aiden. He's my favorite little nugget.
Nugget.
Let's be serious. The boy hurts himself more than anybody I've ever known.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to think of a game that he was at where we haven't had to stop gameplay to get him attention.
At Reading, but you weren't at Reading.
So yeah, so one.
Yeah. And Anzio, but he wasn't at Anzio.
I was going to say, was he not an Anzio?
No, no, he didn't go to Anzio. He decided to go
Oh,
on a date with his missus instead because it was their anniversary, and then broke up with her about a month later.
I was going to say, I'm not sure what's more shocking, the fact that he ditched Anzio to go on a date or that he actually managed to get a missus.
Oh, he's had lots of misses. He's a dark horse. Yeah.
Aiden, a little slag. I presume he's going to be at Anzio this year
Yes, he is. Yeah.
because that's when I'm desperate for Dylan to do because it's just incredible.
Yeah. But he's coming along to Driffield as well, isn't he? Dylan.
Yes, yes. Well, because he's up for, I think it's best new player
Mm-hmm.
and best young player, I think. And he's got some stiff competition.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I mean,
which
Matty
there's a
from
lot
my
of
team
people
for a
from.
start.
Yeah, well, see, yeah, he's up against people from your team and people from my team,
Yeah.
um, which is a bit awkward. Um, but just to be nominated and see his name up in lights,
Yeah.
that's going to be a bloody good buzz for him.
I mean, the nominations are
I'm
winning in
excited to
itself.
see it. Yeah, just to say that you've done well because it's not nepotism because I didn't vote for him. I in all good conscience, I couldn't because
Yeah.
then it is I'm just voting for my own son. But enough people that have voted for him to have his name put on up in lights. So I'm proud of him,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to see it. And in fairness, even if he doesn't win, um, I'll get him something just to congratulate him for doing bloody well.
Yeah. Yeah. He deserves
And
it.
there's always this year where he should get a lot more. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice that OMG are doing it at an event. Obviously, things didn't go well with the booking and the event, the MyFed Awards that they were going to have, but they're definitely putting on a bloody good show at Driffield, from what I'm hearing and from what I'm understanding.
Yeah.
Uh, it should be good.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
hoping
trying to
so.
think what else we got to talk about.
Well, there was the UK PSF, obviously on the players committee for that. Joined that pretty much for the same reason you've done juniors, I would imagine, just to try to improve things.
Yep. Um, kind of bridged the gap because MagFed didn't have any representation whatsoever.
Yeah.
Um, it was kind of nice because apparently they'd already heard of me before I joined. Um, I just kind of figured that MagFed, it is a big part of paintball now. It needed somebody to try and fight its corner, especially with new regulations and new spotlights shining on us.
Yeah.
Um, we need to make sure that we're actually getting our voices heard
Yeah.
because it was very very speedball heavy, which is why when you came over as well onto it, it made things easier for me because it was took the pressure off. So if I can't make a meeting because work or whatever life happens,
Hmm.
then generally one of us will always make it,
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
we've seen recently being you.
Yeah, but it's all been good. You've been there in the background feeding things through me.
Yeah, yeah. I'm never completely silent, even if I am slightly non-visible,
Hmm.
which,
And
which
it's the
is
same with the MagFed ambassadors. We signed up to that for the same thing to try to basically get some unity going, get this community back together and working together as a cohesive whole. I guess that was my goal anyway.
there has been a bit too there's been a bit too much of a divide. Um, and not, like I said, with me, I go from campsite to campsite to campsite. So I've never felt that much of a divide because people tend to, whether you're red, blue, green, yellow, I tend to get welcomed into everyone's campsites.
Yep.
But a lot of people tend to, they set up their campsites, they go out and they play, and they come back to their campsite. And that's it.
Yeah.
And we need to stop doing that. Like I think it was, I'm not sure if it was you that suggested it, but I think it was at Anzio when we had the big communal campfire. We all sat around there, didn't matter
Yep.
whether you were red or blue, and we were all having a couple of beers, all having a laugh, all
Yeah.
discussing our battle of the day,
Hmm.
and that was wonderful. That's what it should be.
Yeah. It was a really good atmosphere as well that night.
It really was. But you can't call it the community if you haven't got the community spirit.
Exactly.
You
And
know, we need everybody to come together.
I think that's why I'm looking forward to the MagFed Awards being at Driffield so much. Because then everybody at that game is going to be at the party.
Yes. Oh yeah, and it's going to be off the hook.
Yes.
That is going to be like that's one of the things I've always loved about the Magpie Awards
Hmm.
is it didn't matter, when Amy was winning awards and she was my nemesis because blue faction leader, red faction leader,
Yeah.
you know, I celebrated with her,
Yeah.
and and that's the beauty of the Magpie Awards was always it didn't matter what faction you were on,
Yeah.
you appreciated whoever won those awards,
Hmm.
you appreciated the fact that they've done enough to stand out
Yeah.
that much that out of 150, 200 mag feathers who had gone to events that year, that one person had been honoured by being called the best player of the year
Yeah.
or player of the year or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's pretty massive.
Absolutely. But also, it's kind of the awards to me was secondary. It was more getting to meet everyone again and everyone sit down
Yeah,
and have a meal and have a party together. The awards kind of seemed secondary in a way.
yeah.
It's that
I mean,
building the community that I was on about.
it is. You get to bounce around and chat away to everybody. I mean, you look at Matt Sully for argument's sake.
Hmm.
Um, Again, one of my arch nemesis.
Hmm.
He's the epitome of a frenemy.
Yeah.
Um, but I get to chill out with him, have a couple of drinks with him, do a couple of shots with him, and me and him have always got on exceptionally well.
Yeah.
God, he's come over to my spawn when I was in spawn, just to see how things were going and check in with me. I'm not sure if he was trying to spy or be a mole, but I took it as it was, that
Yeah.
he's just a good dude.
Yeah.
And this is it. You all got to come together,
Hmm.
have a good bloody laugh, have a good bloody drink, and feel like shit the next day,
Yeah. Absolutely.
which is pretty much my paintballing journey.
Yeah.
Great laugh, feel like shit the next day,
Yeah.
except for at Anzio because I was sober at Anzio.
No, it's a lie.
Seriously, yeah. It was the weekend where Matt Sully actually said, "Sober Andy's a bastard."
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I was well behaved, and I did the pre-game, didn't
You
I?
did.
On the Saturday, that was incredible. I tell you what, Ivan, he's one of the most understated players you'll
Yeah.
ever meet.
He's an absolute
But he
machine.
is so good.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Me and him, we rinsed through the entire bloody field.
Hmm.
And I'll be honest, we didn't say a single word to each other. It was all just hand signals, and we just worked seamlessly, and it just all went pop, 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 pop. It was absolutely, it's got to be one of the best gameplays I've ever had.
Yeah.
Climbing through windows, trying to get my fat ass through a window was bloody
I
hilarious.
know that feel. That is just an awful feel.
Yes, yeah, and it's when you jump the other side, it's like, oh, fucking.
And the
Um,
thing is, he just
yeah,
does it smoothly, and he's out. And you're like, how? How did you
he's
just
older
do
than me.
that?
I hate him, but I love him.
Yeah.
Because you watch him, and he's bloody running around like a lunatic. He's spry as hell, and he's older than me. He's like, you bastards, well, older than us.
Yeah.
Um, but he's also like, I've had drinks with him and all this in the evenings. He's so knowledgeable, and he's
Yeah.
been around for so many years that there's very, very few parts of paintball that he doesn't know
Yeah.
about. And he's just a genuinely nice guy.
He is.
You know, I think it was at Reading a couple of years ago. I shared your bottle of vodka with him.
Hmm. Yeah. Because I retired to the car at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, that was one of those occasions where I wasn't driving the next day, so I was like, yeah, I can do what I like. I'm in the passenger seat.
But I had my tryout for faction leader that weekend. And it was like, yeah, if I don't get some sleep before the game tomorrow, I'm going to fail this big style.
Yeah, which was wonderful because I was supposed to be faction leading, so that also meant that I'm not faction leading tomorrow because
Hmm.
the two potentials are doing it. I'm not driving home. Hmm, let's get mad with it. I think I drank my bottle of rum, all of my lagers, and then drunk your bottle of vodka.
Yeah.
It
Good
was a
night.
good night. But I think it was a good night.
No, it was. It was a good night.
I think that's when I blew up my blow-up mattress and blew up and damaged my tent that badly. They ended up going in the bin.
It makes sense. A lot of tents went end up in that weekend, to be fair, because it rained non-stop.
Oh, it was horrendous.
Yeah,
Just trying to set them up, you were sinking into the gravel
yeah,
whilst you were setting it up. It was just, it was abysmal. But on the Sunday, in fairness, the weather suddenly bloody shone for you when you were doing the faction leading bit.
yeah. It did towards the end. It did, but by then the ground was so sodden and the ferns were soaking wet, so you were drenched to the skin, even though it wasn't raining anymore.
Yeah, see, but I do like that. I
Yeah,
like that feel when you, especially with Reading, because it is all so high in certain areas, especially as you're going into the bowl.
yeah,
And so you're sneaking through, you're soaking, you're minion, you've got paint bloody dripping off you, but at the end of that day you've had a paintball game.
yes. So,
You
top three favourite sites then?
know, ooh, now this see, I've got a couple, right? So there's hard to say top three, like paintball sites.
Hmm.
Outpost. Outpost is incredible. The maze is just phenomenal. So if you look at paintball sites, it's got to be Task Force, Outpost, and Skirmish.
Okay.
So far, my favourites.
There's a few skirmishes, so which one are you talking about?
Nottingham Forest.
Cool.
Then like Warped in Wolverhampton. Have you ever been there?
I believe I've done Warped, but it was way back when we were ODST, so it was a long time
Uh,
ago.
it's a wonderful site, but it's brutal. Like some of the inclines you got to run up, and it's if you're an old fat bastard, it's hard work.
Yeah.
But it's an incredible site. Now with OMG, it's got to be um, Bridge
Hmm.
and Zio, and then for third, it's between Griffield and France.
Yeah.
Griffield and Port Paint. Bridge is just, I mean, it's just beautiful.
Yeah. I I think I'd tend to agree with you, but I prefer Driffield over Sennybridge because I like the fact there's a
Really,
little bit more cover at Driffield.
yeah,
You come out of a building
I
at
get that.
Sennybridge and there's nothing between you and the next building, which is a good 20 to 30 meters away.
Oh yeah, I mean, you've got to hoof it.
Yeah.
Literally, otherwise you are peppered in seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, Bridge for me is the full package. So the site itself is incredible. The different types of gameplay you can do on it is incredible.
Hmm.
But then on top of that, it's just beautiful place. So
Yeah.
in like when was it? When I was there last, um, one of my team, Fleming, and one of Syndicate's guys, Ben. Everybody was slightly drunk. They decided just to lie there on the grass at one point, slightly inebriated, just looking up at the stars. I thought it's a very, very weird thing to do for two blokes.
Hmm.
Um, two hardened paintballers, but they had a nice little man date staring up at the stars, and it's just a gorgeous place.
Yeah.
Just the whole area, especially when it's sunny. When it's sunny and sunny, it's it's pretty spectacular. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, Driffield will always have a special place in my heart because it's where I started. That's where my first event as GDE faction leader was.
Yeah.
And that was just incredible. Strutty had me running around with a big green flag on my back, like some weird fat superhero. And we had just come out of COVID at that point, so this was just when the events were starting to kick back up. So it was pretty special. But
Yeah.
then again, Anzio was my first ever event with OMG back when I was still War Dogs,
Yeah.
and I was a bit nervous going back to Anzio because it was my first one. I remember pulling up back in 2019 on it. I pulled up and I'm just looking around in complete and utter awe. Now all I've done is little walk-ons. I've done 20 people walk-ons.
Yeah.
I think the most people I'd ever seen on a paintball field at that point was 30 people.
Yeah.
And then so you go from that to going to Anzio, where there's 150 people. They're all kitted eights and nines, and I was kind of sitting there going, "Oh my shitting hell, this is scary as fuck." But then I got involved and I had a laugh. It was really really good fun. But I was worried when going back last year. I thought, have I built this up in my mind so much that now when I get there, it's going to be a disappointment
Yeah.
and it's going to shatter all of that. I'm glad to say it did not. It was phenomenal. Gameplay was brilliant. The teamship was brilliant. I think I had there was about 25 of us,
Mm-hmm.
Kronos.
Yeah.
So we had a bloody good number. I had some really, really good firefights. So I remember the one part we were at the shooting range at the top, and we had taken out all the reds, but there was this one guy behind the barricade. So I'm shouting to everybody, right, start pushing up. There's just one guy, one guy. And so I thought I'll fire a couple of cover fire shots in his direction, but again, tip X. Like there's no chance I'm going to hit him. But if I can get him to step back a little bit and get the people with rifles to get into position,
Mm-hmm.
happy days. So I fired a couple of shots up, and obviously see the fan go up, going hit. So, how the fuck did I do that? That was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I walked away going buzzing and pinching myself because it seemed to be an impossible shot that landed literally just after and dunk.
Nice.
I love it.
Yeah. It's little victories like that that make a weekend memorable, I think. It doesn't matter if you
Oh
win,
yeah,
lose, or draw. It's the little victories that you take away and the memories that you've made along the way.
I mean, you dropping the down pilot on top of Wayne Wallace was just hilarious.
I didn't know he was under there.
Just to say, right, Andy, do some cover fire. I'm just going to run and push it. All right, cool, no problem.
It's like, oh, I'm going out the back door.
It's like, it was just so beautiful. You came in when you landed on me. It's like fantastic.
Oh, poor Wayne.
Yeah, I mean, it did make my weekend. It is. It's stupid things like that that you get to walk away and laugh about for ages and ages and ages afterwards.
Yeah,
Again, like me locking myself in my car, me locking myself out of my car, me losing my keys, falling over trees,
falling over the
um,
fire.
falling into fires, falling over barbed wire.
Yeah,
Um, then at Sennybridge, I did all of that stupid stuff. Not a single cut or a single bruise.
yeah.
Next morning, I went to the toilet in the Portaloo, stood up and kept my head open on the soap dispenser. I fell in campfires and razor wire last night. Not a single cut.
Yeah,
Kept my head open, go to the toilet.
yeah. That's sod's law.
Yeah, I mean the one part which I did really really it's kind of always tickled me is I was up in the top floor and I can't remember which building it is, but you've got a smaller building just to your right, and which is just a single tier, and then you've got like 3 stories, which is the building I was in. And so I'm out there with ITF, so with Martin and all them, and all the Reds are trying to come to us, but we're just policing them. They can't get anywhere near us. And Martin turned around and he went, "And be careful, mate." So there's a sniper in that building. And just as he finished saying it, you heard the whistle of the first strike and dunk straight into the side of my head. So
Ah.
boom, lump came up like there was no tomorrow. And for the entire evening, all I had was people seeming to think I'm a cartoon character. They're pushing it in to see if it pop out on the other side. It doesn't really work like that. Can you stop touching my head? Really hurting.
Yeah. Uh, so what is the plans for Kronos, for you, for the future? What have we got coming?
Um, well, I mean, for Kronos itself, I want to keep on seeing us grow. Um, and not so much in numbers because I've got a vast team, but I want us to start growing now in skills to as a team and cohesion and all the rest of it. Um, with Kronos Juniors, I'm hoping to bring on more people and hoping to bring on more juniors. I'd like to see a couple more juniors come into some of the bigger games to get that bit of experience.
Yeah.
We've got the sponsorship program now with the juniors where several people sponsor several of the kids and mentor them. The dream is that with the CIC, obviously going out with the target range, hiring it out, and so on and so forth, we will make enough money to be able to sponsor every single child.
Yeah.
So adults will pay for themselves, but the children never will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to carry on doing what I'm doing. I want to carry on having fun with it, building, hopefully growing the sport, and I'm hoping I've got another decade's worth of play in me.
Absolutely.
Because then, well, I want to get to a point then where I can say, right, hang up my marker and hand it all down to Dylan and see him take it to new heights under his captaincy.
Yeah. That would be amazing. But what about this year? You'll be doing the OMG games. You doing any of the big games
Yeah.
like Mayhem or Superheroes?
I want to do
Speed?
Mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do Speed. Superheroes, I don't know because it's on that weekend. It might be on that weekend where I'm going to be at your neck of the woods
Yeah.
for that event. So I think the plan is at the moment I want to do Speed and Mayhem
Yeah.
because I've not done them.
Yeah.
I've got my three OMGs that I want to do, and then Task Force have now said that they want to do a monthly walk on. So I
Okay.
want to do as many of them as possible because I want to support the site that supports me.
Yeah. Excellent.
It should be good. I should have a good couple in this year, I think.
Yeah. It's going to be a busy year, that's for sure, because there's a lot going on behind the scenes as well. I know you and me are
Yes,
working on a few projects, and it's going to take a
yes,
lot of our time.
yeah. We don't seem to really slow down.
That is
You've
true.
got to wonder when. I mean, I don't know about for yourself, but I'm pretty certain you're the same as me. Paintball's not a hobby anymore.
No.
No,
It's
I
become a
mean,
full-time job.
paintball. Oh yeah, I mean, I put more effort into paintball and the different parts I'm involved in than I do with my job.
As it should
Very
be.
honestly,
Yeah.
yes, yes. I mean, it's not one of those things like because especially now with with yourself, you've got your missus here is involved, and I've got my wife and my son is involved. So
Hmm.
it's yeah, it's like a family enterprise now. It's not just a hobby or escapism
No.
because now I need to go paintballing to escape the stress from paintballing.
Yep. It's a vicious cycle.
It is. It is. The more you get involved, the more you need to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna, yeah, as I said, gonna carry on enjoying it. For me, like I said earlier on, the mental health aspects of it are massive, and it
Yeah.
sounds stupid, but when I'm on that field and I know because I'm a little bit of a mouthy bastard at times, apparently. I know that a shitload of those Reds are gunning for me,
Yeah.
but that's when I feel most at peace.
Hmm.
It's literally that's my little safe haven. That's my happy place. When I know people are gunning for me to come and try and kill me.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing ever.
Yeah. But then it's something you can control. It's you
Yes,
versus them, and that's it. It's do or die.
exactly. And when we meet and we have our firefights, if they pick me, well done.
Hmm.
If they don't, then I rub their noses in it like fucking crazy. I've got a horrible habit, and Peter Hodson will for years, he called me the giggling bandit.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you get one of those sweet kills, he said, I knew straight away that it was you that did it. I went, why? He said, because I could just hear that fucking giggle.
Yeah.
Uh, but then my team also described me as being like a toddler chasing a butterfly because I'll be walking through the field with my team, and then an idea will come to my head. I'll be like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And
I've
then I get
witnessed that a
myself
few
into
times.
trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm horrendous for it. But then every time it's happened, I've ended up in some of the best firefights ever.
Yeah.
It was just would have been good if I'd have actually called some people to come with me so that I'm not in these firefights on my own and massively, massively outnumbered and outgunned with my Tipex.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would probably be quite wise. But no, it's, in fairness, it is. An idea pops into my head. And I go, yeah, let's go and do it. And then all my team turn around and go, where the hell's Andy now?
Yeah.
Probably not the best captain.
Ah, you think we're doing all right.
Yeah, they're definitely getting themselves out
Yeah.
there. And we've got some fantastic guys in fairness. I am very, very lucky that I've managed to build a team of misfits.
Hmm.
But and one of the things that I've always said, and has always been kind of my motto with Kronos, is that I don't care about having the best players. That can be taught.
Yeah.
I want the best people.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not a very good paintballer, we can help you with that. But if
Yeah.
you're an asshole, you're just an asshole.
Exactly the same as what I say.
Yeah,
So,
it's the best way, and that's why we all get on because we're all in the same mindset.
yeah. It's a family. Your team is your family.
Yes,
And if you don't want to
yes,
spend time with people in your family, then you're doing something wrong.
exactly. I love it. Like at Yatesbury, we had so many of my team were there, and just all chilling around on the Saturday night. Yeah, Saturday night, having a couple of drinks, having a laugh. Like it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I kind of sat there in a bit of awe as I was looking around at all the heads and all of the people there, thinking, Jesus Christ, I built this.
Yeah.
How the hell did that happen?
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it, that feeling?
Oh yeah, and then seeing my son there messing about with like Liam and Hannah's son, you know, so it is becoming a family because people are bringing their partners, their kids,
Yeah.
and all the rest of it. It's pretty special. So yeah, I'm going to carry on enjoying it for as long as it may last.
Good. And I think on
Hopefully.
that note, unless there's anything else you want to add to it, we'll call it done.
The only thing I would say is that if any teams out there does want to set up a juniors, give me or my wife a call or a message. We'd be more than happy to help and try and point you guys in the right directions.
Hmm.
Um, our formula may not work for everybody, but it could be a good base to start on. And we'd be more than happy to see other teams with juniors spriting out of up and down the country. It'd be pretty special for us.
Yeah. And it would be awesome to get all the junior teams one day together to face off against each other.
Yeah,
That would be amazing.
knowing that Kronos Juniors has got about 2-3 years more experience than all the other kids, so
Yeah.
you kick ass.
Yeah, but they'll have got too old by then. They'll just be normal players.
Yeah, that's a scary thing. Half of them now are nearly as tall as me.
Hmm.
It is scary. But yeah, other than that, I think I'm happy.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for coming on and giving us a talk. And
No
we
problem.
will
Thank you
see
for having
you
me.
on the game field. That was a weird way to say
Yes.
it.
Well, inevitably, I'll probably end up speaking to you on Friday because I tend to near enough every week for a catch
Yep.
up.
Yep.
But yeah, if not, I shall speak to you soon, my friend.
You too. Goodbye to you.
Right, take it easy.